As you can see, it's heavily saturated with orange colour. There is shades within here, but the way NASA publish the images, you would think that Mars was just completely orange and red, when as a matter of fact it's very, very colourful place, very colourful. But anyway, we can sort of bring out the truer colours by just a few simple adjustments. So if we just go to levels, auto, go to brightness and contrast. Just, it's a bit bright, so just bring the brightness down a little tiny bit. Okay. Now, looking at this image straight away, I was immediately drawn to this area here because it just looked a little bit unusual to me. Straight away, without any enhancements or anything. It just looked unusual. And it is unusual because I think there's something here, and NASA have attempted to hide it, but for whatever reason they haven't been successful, in my view. They've done a pretty good job of hiding it, and they've tried the best to obfuscate this entire image. If we just go to the cyan plate and you have a look at it, you can actually see how bad this image is. It's absolutely terrible. Can you see that? I know it's a JPEG, but that is just ridiculous. Look at it. And I'm absolutely convinced that it's like that, not because of a natural process of the image, artifacts and noise, but because they are attempting to hide the true facts about what Curiosity is looking at, because I think it's looking at the remnants of an ancient culture, an ancient civilization that once existed on Mars, and this image is just a little tiny bit of the evidence that points towards NASA hiding what they've really discovered on Mars. If we just go back to the CMYK, okay, I'm just gonna magnify a little tiny bit so you can see it just a little bit better. Okay, now if you look at this, you know straight away that there's something unusual about it. You don't need to be a scientist to get an unusual feeling about what you're looking at. You know, it doesn't look like a rock. And it's not rock. They've done the best to hide everything in this image, but for some reason they never quite covered this up. You can actually see where it's all smudged. If we just go back to say magenta, can you see where it's all been smudged out? How bad is this image? How bad is it? Let's go back to, okay, what I think we're looking at here, right, is the eroded remains of a small boat. I'm pretty convinced that's what we're looking at. Not only because of the remains of the boat, but also what's next to it. So there's actually more in this image, but there's two definite areas that make me think it's not as natural as NASA would like us to think it is. Now, if we just go to the prow of the boat, we can see what looks like a snout here. You see that? You can even see a line which it looks like the mouth. There's a horn here curved forward. You see that? and there's another horn curved forward here. I did think it might have been part of this at first. You know, like you look at how dark that is there, and I thought, well, that's just another part of that, but it's not. You can actually see that it's forward of it. It's actually joined to this. There's the joined. Okay, so you've got your snout, you've got a horn that arches forward, you've got another arch that goes forward, and then on the bottom part of the head, the neck area, you've got this elaborate pattern. Can you see that? Seems to be carved into it. There's another line carved here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines indicating like carvings or impressions of something. Like I say, they've actually smoothed it over with some kind of obscura, but you can still see where it comes down from the snout, and then when it gets to about here, it starts to curve. You see that the lines curve, very very subtly curve. Now, if you just let me go to Blur, Gaussian Blur. I don't know whether you can see that a little bit better, but there's a line. Can you see that line? Very light line there. Comes round. See the way it curves round there? Yeah? And then comes along. I'll just sharpen that up again for you. Now, if we just get the sharpen tool on it and just try and sharpen the image. That's all we're doing, just sharpening the image up a little tiny bit. We're not adding anything to it, and we're not taking anything away. We're just brightening up the pixels that we can see here along the edge here. Now, I don't know about yous folks, this is why I'm putting this on here, but I'm pretty convinced that this is the flattened remains of a boat that they've tried the damnedest and the hardest to cover up, but for whatever reason they missed that prow, and that's what made it stand up. Okay, I've just sharpened it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see the snout a little bit better than the horns, and this patterned area here, and the way, see that line there, like the remnants of the sides of the ship, the wall of the ship. It all flows out, and this is the interior here. This is the interior. Now this may or may not be the remains of a mast. I'm not sure, but I know for one thing it's sticking up. Yeah, I did think this was the remains of a mast here, but it's a tube. There's like a tube that comes out of here into a bigger section of tube here. See? That is a tube. Okay. Now, like I say, it could be, you know, it could be a rock that's fell onto it. I'm not sure, but it could be a mast. It's slightly off center, which is making me. But it could, you know, I'm not sure. But it could. It just. But when I look further up, I'm thinking, yeah, well, it might be. The side here, this funny looking rock here. Can you see the curved pattern? You see the curved pattern? Yeah. Now, to me, they look like waves, gentle rippling waves. If you get me drift. And then on this side, this is being well and truly flattened here, and this seems to be the edge of the far side of the boat here. You can just see the line there. I mean, I can see it. It's just there. See? Very narrow. But I hope you can see where I'm coming from with this. To me, it's the ruins of a boat. But what makes me more sure of that is this here. Can you see the circular feature here? It it comes round, it's circular, it comes round and it comes in here. Now if I know it's off picture, but if we could turn that round, if we could follow that round, you would have a perfect circle there. See that? Perfect circle. And then it comes to this long length as if it's a plank sticking out here. See? So what we're looking at looks like a circular structure. And these here, see all these, are the remnants of maybe what held a roof up or something like that. Or maybe the holes where poles went in to keep the roof up, to keep the structure up. It's even here. To me, it looks artificial. It really, really does. So what we've got is the boat here, and then we've got what might be a little tiny pier here. You see that? Well, I hope this gives you a little bit of food for thought. Oh, by the way, there's loads of different stuff in here. Honestly, there's loads of stuff. It's worth actually having a little look for for yourselves. Go into it and have a look. The likes of this here. Look at this. That to me looks like part of either a machine or a structure. You've got like a hole there, like an opening there, and then you've got another one here and another one there. It's like it reminds me of an engine block or something, and it's buried in the ground. Look at this. This is got to open of some sort. Or I've got a terrible feeling that all this isn't just normal rock. This thing here, looking at this, I can't be sure what it is at all. It's just total ruins, but it seems to have intake vents at the front. There's one there, one there, one there. Can you see that? And then there's something here. Like, was this a seat at some time where someone sat? And if you follow it back, there's other unusual components here. I mean, is this part of this rock, or are these separate? This swerves up. Yeah, it to me, if you follow it along, this looks like artificial. It really, really does. There's a chunk out of here. Well, obviously this is deeper speculation than that. But if this is true, and this is the ruins of a boat, then we can speculate on stuff like this that is really, really eroded and hidden. Anyway, folks, thanks for looking at the video. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you again. I've got plenty of images, plenty of videos, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.